I made up my mind. I want to bless you because God, you brought me, you kept me, you made ways and opened doors. And I know, God, it was nobody, it wasn't luck, it wasn't anything that happened by chance. Your divine will. The most precious thing that I have is my relationship with God. Hey, and I made up my mind. I want to bless you because God brought me, you kept me, you made ways and opened doors. And I know, God, it was nobody but you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't anything that happened by chance. But it was your divine will. The most precious thing that I have is my relationship with God. Hey, and I made up my mind.
I think we need to wait a little while.
I want to bless you because God, you brought me, you kept me, you made ways and opened doors. And I know, God, nobody but you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't anything that happened by chance. But it was your divine will. The most precious thing that I have is my relationship with God. Hey, I made up my mind.
Having on the breastplate of righteousness.
I want to bless you because God, you brought me, you kept me, you made ways and opened doors. And I know, God, it was nobody but you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't anything that happened by chance. But it was your divine will. The most precious thing that I have is my relationship with God. Hey, I made up my mind.
Way of review. Our first session, we talk about what? The first miracle.
Bless you
What was so significant in the first miracle?
because God, you brought me, you kept me, you made ways and opened doors. And I know it was nobody but you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't anything that happened by chance. But it was your divine will. The most precious thing that I have is my relationship with God. Hey, and I made up.
Let's go ahead and fill this form now. Come on in. So, okay, I just got Gary with us. Let's read it right now with a hearty amen.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Praise the Lord, everybody. Has God been good to anybody today? Y'all happy? Y'all excited? I know that's right. God is good to us. There is nobody like our God. So, Deke was already giving you all the review, so we're going to jump right into it. I like it. So, for those of you that don't know, because I think a lot of you all were here on last Wednesday. On last Wednesday, we were talking because the first miracle dealt with what? Jesus turning water into wine. What did we find out from that? Was there any significance into that? Hi. Say it again. Stone, right, the stone jars. And those stone jars were used for what? The Jewish purification rituals. Absolutely. Symbolism being here, the old stone jars represented the old system, the law, right? And here, when Jesus comes on the scene, they find themselves in a predicament where the stone jars or the law has now faded away. It's lacking. They are in need of it, right? And it's empty. The jars are empty. That's a really big part of that. Not only was the stone jars used in Jewish purification rituals, but it was also empty when they were in need, right? And Jesus commands them to do what? Take those jars, right? And now, jar is kind of a different word to use, but remember, these jars were how big? Right, 20 to 30 gallons. So these are big jars, all right? 20 to 30 gallons. He commands them to go and fill these jars up with water. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? And what happens is when he takes them, tells them to fill those jars up with water, he also then commands them, what do? They fill it up how? To the brim. To the brim, to the brim, to the brim. You don't know that you filled something until it does what? Runs over. That's the whole point. The only way to absolutely know that you've maximized and got everything possible that you can get into the jars is you have to keep filling it until it runs over. You don't know, we don't know that we are filled with joy, peace, love until that joy, peace, and love that's on the inside of us, what? Runs over. We're just doing a quick review of the last Wednesday. And so then after that, what happens? He fills it up to the brim, and then we go. Right, he tells them to dip the water, right? He dips out of there to serve the governor. The governor is a high-ranking official, right? And what happens is, what happens? He tells him to dip out of the water, and the governor is expecting what? Wine. The governor is expecting wine, but he commands them to dip out of the water to give the governor drink. This is a big no-no, right? You don't want to give the governor water when he's expecting wine. And so the servants know that they dipped out water. So the servants are waiting in the cut. You can tell that they're waiting to see what happens. And the governor takes the drink, and what does he say? You've done something peculiar. Don't skip over that. You all have done something different. Everybody say different. Said you all have done something different. The governor says you all have, most people give the best first. And then once everybody got drunk, you give them the cheap wine. Right? He said, but you all gave us good wine first, and then it got better at the end. That's a big template to what Christ has come to do, hasn't he? Because Christ, the method that Christ does is that we had the first Adam. The first Adam did what? He brought mankind into existence, but he also plunged man into sin. So now, second Adam, or Jesus Christ, comes down and he does what? Frees us from that sin. And so even though the first we thank God for Adam, we thank God for Jesus. Are you with me? And it's a template. With the world, things are supposed to diminish, but with God, it gets sweeter and sweeter, what? As the day goes by. How many of you, that's your testimony already? Amen. Can some of you actually say that God is better to you today than he was the day you got saved? Yes. Y'all really believe that? Amen. Good. Tell your neighbor he gets sweeter and sweeter. Turn to the other neighbor and tell him he gets gooder and gooder. No, I'm playing. All right, so it's a big symbolism here because remember, this is an issue, and this is showing that his first miracle was showing the transition from the being purified with water, right, to when the governor drinks it, the water has become what? Wine. What is wine symbolic of? The blood. That's why during communion we eat the bread symbolizing his flesh. We drink the wine symbolizing his blood. So it's symbolically showing us what? That the purification that used to be through water will now be through the blood. Are y'all with me? So now we aren't purified. We are not purified by water. We are purified by how? The blood of Jesus Christ. How many of you thank God for the blood? Amen. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, so then that's the first miracle. The second miracle, most of you all won't know because I decided to do it on Sunday night. Brother Michael told me that will be available on our app by tomorrow morning. But you'll be able to go online and hear that teaching. We did it on Sunday night. The second miracle was somebody who was here help him out. What was the second miracle Jesus did? Healing the nobleman's son. All right? And what happens when he healed the nobleman's child? What happened? It transitions now from something spectacular. Number one, it does away with the class system. All right? Because remember, Jesus, even though he's a son of God to us, at the time he was a man of no reputation. Are y'all with me? So nobody walked around earth believing like, oh my goodness, it's Jesus. Oh, look, he wasn't floating. Nothing. He made himself of no reputation. He was walking around this earth so common that Judas, when he got ready to betray him, had to give the guards a sign. Remember? He said, the one I kiss, that's Jesus. Because he wasn't flashy. He was not somebody who was standing out in a crowd. He was Jesus, but he was a man of no reputation. That's important, no reputation. And so when he's walking around, he goes back to the city. Now, what city did he go back to? He went back to a city called Cana. What do we know about Cana? C-A-N-A. That's where he turned the water into wine. It's important because none of this stuff is happening by coincidence. Jesus turns the water into wine in Cana, C-A-N-A, and when he returns to Cana, there the nobleman meets him. Now, the nobleman was not from Cana. The nobleman was from another place, and it took them about 23 miles away, right? About 23 miles away. 23 miles at the time was about an 8-hour walk, or it was about a 3-hour ride by chariot, camel, horse, okay? Now, he's a nobleman, so no doubt he had a camel or a horse or a chariot. So it probably took him 3 hours, but it was no small trip. Also, because of the class system, are you catching this? Because of the class system, the nobleman was not responsible. Normally, they would send for somebody beneath them, right? Normally, they would send a servant, go tell him to come here. Because when somebody of higher class calls you, you were supposed to come. They had legal authority. They could have you arrested. They could have you taken. There was no rights there. It was a class system. Are you with me? And that's why, remember, Jesus is disrespected because when they see him and he's speaking in the temple, how do they try to humble him down? Isn't that Joseph's son? Isn't that the carpenter's son, right? Because they're trying now to take him off of this position of authority and trying to say, he's a carpenter's son, right? Trying to box him in and cage him in. But, of course, you can't cage in Jesus. But the nobleman heard so much with the expectation, catch this, the expectation was that he turned the water into wine, right? Now, up until this point, there is no documentation that Jesus has healed anybody, right? But the nobleman's faith that he gained from hearing that he turned the water into wine somehow sparked something within him that said, if he can turn water into wine, he can probably heal my child. Are y'all with me? That's why it's so important for you to give your testimony. It's not about somebody needing what you had. It's about somebody knowing that if God can work over there, then God can work over here. Are you with me? Tell your neighbor, tell your testimony. Got to tell your testimony because it's important. When God begins to speak and we begin to hear how he's operating, we are supposed to grab hold of that and it build our faith to say the same God that can do that is the same God that can do this. So even if I don't need you to heal me from cancer, I need you to save my child. And if you can heal cancer, you can save my child.
I might not need you to pay this bill because all my bills may be paid, but I thank God that you paid her bill, because if you pay her bill, maybe you can heal my heart or put me back together or give me peace. Are you with me? Everybody say the same God. It is the same God, the same God, the same God. And he's no respecter of person. That's big. He's no respecter of person, which means there is no qualifications. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to deserve it. None of us deserves it. Whoever he healed didn't deserve it when they got healed. So if somebody who didn't deserve healing got healing, then I have an opportunity to get what I need from God, even though I know I don't deserve it. Now, look, watch this. Is there anybody in the room? Catch this, me, because you might need something from God. How many of you need something from God? Let me ask the question. Maybe I'm in the wrong room. Okay, good. I'm in the right room. How many of you that need something from God? You don't have to raise your hand for that question anymore. But how many other people in the room know that you received something from God that you know you did not deserve? Y'all sure about that? Good. So if you need something from God and you have received something that you don't deserve, then the only thing left to do, you can't pay for it, can you? So if you can't pay for it, the only thing you can do is do what? Say thank you. That's all you can do. So why wait till you get it to say thank you? If thank you is all he requires when he gives it to me, then maybe if I give him the thank you in advance, it'll go ahead and tell him I'm ready. I got my thank you ready. I need my bills paid. I got my thank you ready. I need healing. I got my thank you ready. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you the thank you ahead of time. You give me the healing later. Are y'all with me? Y'all with me this morning? Y'all with me tonight? Good. I'll tell you what. Let's take 10 seconds. And why don't you go ahead and give God praise for what he's about to do in your life. And we praise you. And we magnify you. And we glorify you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Mike, if you can hear me, turn this up just a little bit for me. Hallelujah. Glory to God. All right, so now the point in Cana, the healing of the nobleman's child, is this. It stopped from being, the nobleman never saw him turn water into wine. Right. That's important. The nobleman never saw him turn water into wine. But what the nobleman did was he had an expectation that was brought about simply by him believing the testimony. Are you with me? And see, this is important for us because how many of you all saw Jesus get crucified? How many of you believe Jesus was crucified? Amen. Good. How many of you saw Lazarus get raised from the dead? How many of you believe Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead? Amen. Good. Now see, that means the nobleman is in the same category that we are in. We did not see it, but we heard the testimony, and we believe based on the testimony. Are you with me? And so the same when the nobleman was able to come and travel to find Jesus to get what he needed done solely based on the testimony, that's why we're here tonight. You are in this room tonight because you believed the testimony of either Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or one of the prophets in the Bible, or some neighbor, or some friend, or some coworker, some relative. You believe that testimony, and all of a sudden, you're here tonight because you need something from God. And even though I wasn't there when God did it for them, I know that I believe the testimony, so I know he can do it for me. Are you with me? And that's the power. That is the ushering in. Remember, under the law, it was about seeing. Seeing was believing. Seeing was believing. Seeing was believing. I had sinned, and so I take a turtle dove or I take a bullock. I offer the sacrifice. I saw it die. I saw me bring it. I saw the priest go in. I saw him come back out. I see the smoke rising from the temple. I know they offered my sacrifice. And so I believe that I have been forgiven based on something I saw, right? But in the New Testament now, we transition from simply being able to go on what we see to also having to raise our level of expectation by embracing the testimony. Are you with me? That is why we have to now make sure that we are in a position that we will not overcome the enemy except by two ways. First way by what? The blood of the Lamb. The second way by how? The word of a testimony, the blood of the Lamb and the word of the testimony is because it is the embracing of the testimony. So the nobleman embraces the testimony, comes and finds Jesus, and Jesus says unto him, okay, says, Master, if you can come, or Jesus, if you could come, I would love for you to be able to come and heal my child. And Jesus says to him, go thy way. This is funny. He says to the nobleman who's traveled 23 miles to come see Jesus, go your way. Right? He says, go your way, your child is fine. Excuse me? Does anybody else have an issue with that? Say, y'all real spiritual and real deep. If I travel 23 miles to come get a man who I knew could work a miracle, because check this out, not my daughter, my son, my child is not just sick, my child is what? He's dying. She's dying. I had to leave my child's deathbed 23 miles to come to you with the hope that I could convince you to come back to my house and heal my child. And when I get to you, you say, go on back home. Your child is all right. Now, as obviously y'all are way more deep than I am, because I just imagine myself, I would love to believe that I would do like this nobleman did and just turn and go that way, but I'm pretty certain that I was that guy who like, okay, Jesus, I'll tell you what, I believe my child is healed, but why don't we both go back and like, let's both go back and confirm this thing. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to go. I mean, come on, it's just a quick little trip. You can eat something, meet my family, right? I would want him to confirm it. Come back with me, just in case. It ain't like you said it was, But the nobleman, ironically, had enough faith that he didn't require any of that. The nobleman told Jesus nothing. He just turned and went back home. Does anybody here, do you believe you could have done that? That's a lot of faith. That is a lot of faith. I mean, can I get a prayer cloth? Can you bless the water? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, send me a note. Send me a note, something, Be like Grayson. I told him last time, you got to be careful when you let my Grayson pray for you, because Grayson will, he closed his eyes and get everything, but after he finishes praying, he got ready to lay hands again, and he said, abracadabra. I was like, no. No, Grayson, that's not how this thing works. You can't get healing and a rabbit out the hat at the same time. All right? So you have to watch it, because that's what happens. So now we're moving into and transitioning, because we have to move from being able to accept people or accept Jesus by faith. Now we have to understand we have to accept him by faith, and that we're going to be responsible for hearing this based on what? The testimony of Jesus Christ. Are y'all with me? All right, so now today, and that's the transition there. Go back and listen to the sermon on the app. Tonight, we need to talk about the third miracle. Go to John chapter 5. John chapter 5. Have y'all complimented your neighbor? Told them they look nice? Smell good? Breath don't stink? John chapter 5. We're going to begin at verse 1. Screen's not operating tonight? Okay. All right. All right, let's look at it. So John chapter 5, beginning at verse 1. What's it say?
After this, there was a feast of the Jews.
Uh-huh.
And Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market of the pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue
Bethesda.
Had 5 porches.
Uh-huh.
And then he laid a great multitude of them to the floor, blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water.
All right, so let's stop right there, because in verse 1 it says, after this. What are we talking about after? What is it after? It's after the miracle I just told you about. is after the miracle that I just told you about. After Jesus works the second miracle, he's shifting now into this third one. By the way, what's the point of John recording these miracles? Say it again. Go ahead. Okay. So that he can do it again? Anybody have anything differently? Okay. John writes this because John is stacking the deck. Everybody say stacking the deck. John is giving you miracles in a certain order. In a certain order. But his purpose for this is that he says, after these miracles took place that he witnessed, he was convinced that Jesus was the Son of God. And so he has now recorded these miracles and given these miracles to us so that we could read the miracles and come to the same what? Same conclusion. It is not just to write. He is not just trying to brag on Jesus. What he is trying to do is to get us to see that after reading this, you'll come to the same conclusion that he did, that Jesus has to be the Son of God. After all of this, he has to be. Go to chapter 20, verse 31. Same book, real quick. Keep your finger there. We're going to come back. And we'll go 20 and 30. Let's start at 30. 20 and 30 if you're writing, because this is where John just spills all the beans. He tells us why he's telling us these miracles. In 20 and 30 it says what? And many other signs truly did Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not. Side note, which book is he talking about? John. That's important. He's talking about John. Oftentimes when we say this, we interpreted the Bible, but John is talking about in this book. You got to remember, the Bible is a book of books. Okay? So he's saying Jesus did more miracles than written in this book. Now, verse 31, watch it. What does it say? That ye might believe, but I wrote these miracles down because I want you to believe that what? Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and he spilled the beans. He's giving you the reason. You don't read John just to read it, but there was a structure and a purpose to his order. He wrote it, these miracles, that you might believe in Jesus, that he's the Son of God, and that through the name of Jesus you might have life or eternal life. Are y'all with me? So there was a purpose. Every miracle you read, it should be drawing you closer to this, to being convinced that Jesus is the Son of God. It amazes me now how many people are backing out of Christianity into some foolish religion that's brand new, that's coming out the woodworks, that has no proof, no foundation. It's very recent in the scope of things, but they're gravitating toward these religions, and they're trying to convince us that we don't know what we're talking about. However, they have done very little historical data. Very little historical data. From Genesis to Revelations, these uncovering, the archaeologists, not even Christians or apologetics, these archaeologists are uncovering scrolls from centuries and centuries, confirming centuries and centuries, but yet they're coming up with some new man-made things to say that we're serving some white man's gospel. Come on. And you want me to say that I'm not woke? And you have to be careful, because here's the problem. Here's the problem. Most of the people that are being talked out of it were never talked into it. Most of the people who are being talked out of it were never talked into it. There's a wonderful quote, I believe, by C.S. Lewis. And the quote is, "It was not that Christianity was tried and found wanting. It was that Christianity was found difficult and never tried." I'll say it again. It says it was not that Christianity was tried and found wanting. It was that Christianity was found difficult and never tried. And that's what's happening, is that we have people who refuse to submit to the precepts and concepts that God has laid out, but yet want to complain about why they don't enjoy the fruit of the Spirit. Why they don't have peace, love, joy. Are you with me? So let's look at it. So that's why it's written. Go back to chapter 5. So now John is talking about this feast of the Jews. And Jesus went to Jerusalem, verse 2. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 what? 5 porches. And these lay what? Impotent, blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Verse 4, what's it say? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now, John is reciting to you what the moving of the water, the troubling of the water is. But this is so important because before actually studying this text and drawing the conclusions that I need to draw, I thought, I was assuming that because I saw the word angel, that we were talking about from God. Here's what you don't know, or you might not realize. You know, demons are fallen angels, right? So every time you hear the word angel, it's not speaking about a godly angel. This is not a Christian or godly belief. This laying at the pool of Bethesda, this troubling of the water, archaeologists have since excavated this pool and uncovered the superstitions. It was a superstition. Everybody say superstition. It's a superstition. They believed that the pool of Bethesda was troubled because I told you when they excavated, they found that there was a reservoir beside. I preached a sermon on this. Remember? They found a reservoir on the side of the pool. And when the pool was beginning to empty and fill back up, they believed that when the pool was filled with quote unquote clean water from the reservoir, that it was a troubling of the water. Not only that, but some people don't even believe that it was a reservoir because what they have found, and it is documented, you can go back and Google it, Wikipedia, whatever you need to do to look at it. But what they also found was there was a spring, a natural spring underneath where the well was. So some think that it was the troubling of the water was when the water was changed. Another train of thought believed that troubling of the water was when the spring well bubbled up. You know when a spring lets go, releases it, it bubbles up. And when that happened, they were pushing people in and trying to get into the water, believing that people were going to be healed. The first one in was going to be cleansed. It was superstition. Everybody say superstition. That is so important. It is a bunch of sick, halted, blamed people, and they are around the temple serving a superstition. Superstition. I'm going to tell you why all this is important because you have to see none of these miracles are coincidental. They didn't just happen. Look at what happens after that. Verse 5. And a certain man was there what? For 38 years. Now watch this. Whenever you are relying on a superstition, you can find yourself sick with the same disease 38 years. Always waiting on something else to happen. I was talking, and please don't give it away if you believe all this, but I was talking with somebody about my children, and you know, one of them recently had a little bout with asthma, and so I had to get him to the ER and get him the nebulizer and everything. When I was talking about what was going on, they said, "You know, son, you know what works?" I said, "What?" He said, "Got to go and take your son, put him up against the wall." Put him up against the wall, draw a line above his head, and when he outgrows that line, he's going to outgrow that asthma. Have y'all heard that one? Somebody said, thank you. I was going to say, I figured somebody was going to hear somebody, right? Somebody, yeah. My
My mom and papa believed in putting a nail in the, I forgot what kind of tree it was. You put the nail in the tree, and when you outgrew the nail, you outgrew the sickness. Pastor talked about Sunday. I forgot what it was about. What was it about? When they, when they urinated on the. I said, Lord, I want to be sick. Just let me be sick. Here's my question. I don't know. Y'all might not think the way I do, but here's my question. Who was the first person that tried that? Who's the first person saying, I have an earache. You know what I need? Who's the guy? Yeah, I just want to shake that guy's hand and be like, that's a great, right. All right, so now let's bring some seriousness into this, all right? Why would a superstition like that for healing have so many people laying around it? Because they wanted to be healed, right? Right. Here's why. Back then, you got to remember, everybody say back then. Doctors were not like doctors today. Okay? So there was no universal health care. There was no just going to doctor's care when you got sickness. There was none of this. As a matter of fact, disease was so prevalent because there was a law. Everybody say law. I hope I'm not giving you too many facts. But there was a law that said that doctors could not touch a dead body. So there was no autopsies being done at the time. It was against the law to do an autopsy. So when people died, there was no way of determining for certainty what they died of. So, of course, there was no cure. There was no saying there's an outbreak over here. We need to watch it. There was no saying something's going on in his liver. We see it. There was no autopsies being done. It was illegal. So what the doctors would do was when you were dying, catch this, this is important. So many things connect in the Bible. When you were dying, the doctors would try to rush to you as fast as they could to get to a dying person to try to run tests on you while you were dying. Because once you were dead, they couldn't touch you anymore. Now, here's why that's important. Catch this. Doctors were scary people. Are y'all with me? If you were sick and a doctor showed up at your house, what is that a sign of? I am dying, and he's trying to run tests to find out what it is. You get me? This is stuff that really is remarkable to me. So think about this. We got a tax collector. We got fishermen that's following Jesus. And the one profession that I thought was noble that was following Jesus, I was like, man, at least he had one intellectual, was the doctor. And now I found out that the doctor was a scary human being to people. Are y'all with me? And so what happens is the doctor is nervous, and so they had nothing to rely on now but, number one, their religion, idolatry, and superstition. That's what they counted on. So you had a man laying at a pool for 38 years because there's no medicine. There's no Walgreens. He wants to be healed, and how many options does he have? Are y'all with me? So now you see the desperation. He is desperate. But now imagine the setting of this place. You have people who are lame, halt, sick, and they're all laying around this pool, right? That has got to be an awful place. You hate walking into a hospital and they clean up, right? You can't stand it because of the smell, the odor. You never know, infection. It's something about being around all that disease. It just makes you uncomfortable. It does me at least, When Dad was in the hospital, Dad can't stand being in the hospital. And walking around, you just kind of feel, you sanitizing your hand 50 times a day. You brushing things off. And then the doctors come in and they put blue stuff on. You're like, oh, Lord, am I dying? What do I have? What does he have? I don't have any blue things. Should you give me a blue thing? Should I walk around here with a blue thing? You know what I'm saying?
you know how to treat your sickness, and you walking around here with a blue thing and stuff. Can I have a blue thing? I don't really know what's going on right now, but I feel like I should be more protected than you. You know what you walk into, right? And so walk around with a stench. And here at the pool of Bethesda, you have all these people who are sick. No medicine, and they are laying around this pool hoping for the change. And there's a man there laying 38 years. 38 years. And what happens next? When Jesus saw what? Okay. Now that is a weird question. This man has been laid there for how long? 38 years. 38. Somebody said long years. 38. You're right. It sounds better when you say it that way. I'm going to use that. 38 long years. All right. Wait, 38 long years. And while he's waiting these 38 long years, obviously, I want to be healed. That's what you would think, right? Touch somebody and tell them Jesus knew. Here's the funny thing about it. If you're sick, birds of a feather are comfortable flocking together. And so as bad and as smelly, as stank, as uncomfortable as that place would be to us as healthy people, if you are sick and you're already a misfit, you're already somebody people don't want to be around, sometimes being around a place with other people who are just as sick as you is a comfort zone. Don't make the mistake. Touch somebody and say, don't make the mistake. Don't make the mistake of thinking that everybody who says they want healing. Don't make the mistake of believing that everybody who says they won't help. Don't believe that, oh, y'all are holding back tonight. We're going to fight. Let's fight. All right? So don't believe that everybody who says one thing means what they say. Sometimes you find people who like being in the shape they're in. And they will tell you 100% that, no, I'm ready to get out of here. No, I'm trying my best. No, I'm going to do better. No. And when you turn around, they're doing the exact same thing. They leave. Oh, y'all ain't hear me. I can't tell you how many of my little brothers, little sisters I talk to, and I just need a new scenery, a new change of scenery. And they can't wait. They feel like once they get out of here and they get over there, things are going to be better. But the problem is the same drama, the same mess, the same junk, same foolishness that they were dealing with over here, all they did was pack it up, put it in that U-Haul, take it all the way over here to this city, and before they knew it, the same mess they had was over here. Because the problem was not in the atmosphere, the problem was in you. You know, like I know. Said, I know that's right. And you'll find yourself comfortable being. This is why it's a principle. This is a principle. Principle number one, if you want to know, always find somebody who's in a better predicament than you're in. If you broke, stop hanging with only broke people. If you unhealthy, stop hanging with only unhealthy people. How can you learn what having money look like if everybody around you broke? Somebody come home with beef ramen, like, ooh, you got the beef flavor. You coming up. And then what happens? Because I'm going to tell you what happens. See, are y'all with me tonight? Is this okay? We don't have to hoop and holler, right? We can actually teach. Because here's what happens. The funny thing is when you broke and you hanging around nothing but broke people, when one of y'all come into money, you ask each other for advice. And all broke people are going to end up telling you how to do is how to get back in the shape that they in, which is being broke. Which is why you have people who win the lottery who in 5 to 7 years, they broke again. You have people all year. I said it all year. I said it in October. Go pull the tapes. I said it in October. I said it in November. I said it in December. And I said it in January too, intentionally. I said everybody talking about what they would do if they had an extra $1,000, right? I said, now what's going to happen is income tax refund is going to happen, and they're going to blow that extra refund they have, and then by March or April, they'll be back to saying, if I only had an extra $1,000. And I here to tell you that that story and the testimony is absolutely true, because I can point to some people. I'm not talking about in this room. I'm just telling you. I can just tell you. I know people for the fact, oh, Gary, man, you know what? Who you get your, came to me, asked me who I get my taxes done with. Came to me bragging on the refund. Man, he is good. He is good. I ain't know I get those type of, yeah, great, all right, boom, 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 boom. And then you turn back around and you drive up here with a brand new car. And I'm sitting here looking like, bro, come on. Like, we getting a new car to get repossessed because you ain't taking consideration. All you did was you could afford the down payment. I can't afford the next month payment. I can't afford the insurance. I can't afford the gas. I can't afford the taxes. The oil change. You got something brand new and figured out you couldn't change the oil yourself. Come on, I know I'm telling the truth. I came back, my dad now, I'll tell him myself. My dad bought this, I think it was his car. It's either his car or my car. It was either my S-Type Jaguar or it was his Mercedes. I can't remember which one it was. But we were driving it back from someplace and this little light came on. And so we said, uh-oh. I said, Dad, we need to check. It was Dad's car. Good, I'm glad. It was Dad's car. So we were coming back from Clearwater, Florida. And when we pulled over, I said, it's an engine light or something, a little warning. We need to go see. I said, I tell you what, maybe it's just an oil change. Let's pop the hood and figure out how we can check the oil. So we put on the side of the interstate. I popped the hood. And you know how y'all know, hold on, y'all know that under the hood look, right? Right? I'm looking, and neither one of us, Dad nor I, want to tell each other that we don't know what this oil stick is. Because Dad used to work on cars. You know, I'm not that car savvy, but I know enough about cars. I'm supposed to know what a dipstick is, right? And we sitting here looking, I'm waiting for him to grab. He waiting for me to grab. So finally, I go back inside. I was like, Dad, you see? He's like, I don't see where it is. I'm like, guys. So I go back in and grab the manual. So I'm in the car on the side. I mean, car's flying, but I'm looking for the manual. And when it got down to oil change, it was a computer thing. You don't have a dipstick no more to look at. I had to press a couple buttons, and the computer said, and you know what the computer said? C mechanic. So we had to go. We didn't even qualify to be able to check the oil, right? And so you get yourself in these predicaments, but you buy a car that you can't afford, you waste it, right? And it all happens because you hanging around people who are in the same situation as you. Are y'all with me? It's amazing. Please, I'm going to get off the soapbox in 30 seconds. But watch this. It amazes me how the devil will create such a spirit of secrecy within each other that we don't want to tell each other what we need help in, and all we do is wallow in the same mess we're in. You mess around and lose your house because you wasn't willing to talk to somebody about how to get your loan refinanced. Because I don't want nobody to know I missed a couple of payments. So what? We all go through, right? You get ready to get evicted from your house because you came and you don't know how to budget. Ask somebody. How do I budget? I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I know this ain't right. Because, right? So you find somebody who's good with that. Listen, I don't know what I'm doing, but I had an extra money and I put $1,000 into a little savings account, and at the end of the year I had $1,000, and I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong because I be hearing people putting money in the bank and getting out more. So what am I doing? Where should I put this money? Are you with me? You need to be having these conversations, and I don't want to not harp on it, but you know that's really dominant in our culture. It's very cultural. It's very territorial. And I wish that we would, pastors always harped on it, we have got to get over it. Touch your neighbor and say, get over it. We all go through. Watch this, watch this, watch this. This is going to be freeing. This is going to be freeing. Watch this. How many of you have ever been broke before? Do me a favor. Look at your number. Look at your neighbor and say, what?
I'm shocked. Wow. You. Right? Are you kidding me? You've been broke. But you don't have to be so secretive. You don't have to be so secretive. Don't waste all your time. Don't lose it. I had a situation even without that, and I got to move on to this, but I feel like somebody needs to hear this, really. I had a situation recently. Had a letter sent home with one of my children. Obviously, Christian is really smart. I'll tell all his business, don't y'all tell him. But Christian is extremely smart, and so really what he's learning this year, he had already learned last year, but he's above his grade. He's just really smart. And so the teacher says in a letter home, say he's not what's the word? He's not, when you're rude, disrespectful. I'm tired. So he's not disrespectful or anything, but when he finishes his work, he gets finished his work, and Christian, instead of sitting quietly, Christian finishes his work faster than everybody else, and sits and he looks at his neighbor and say, hey, you finished? Literally, it's in quotes on the letter I got. Hey, you finished? Right? And he starts talking, so he gets into this, right? And so after I heard that information and I read the letter, I picked up the phone. I think I'm a pretty smart guy, and he's my child, right? But you know who I called? I called Deacon Williams. He's the principal of the school. I said, look, my son is being challenged. I don't know what's going on. He's not being challenged and is creating behavioral problems. And to me, the tone of this letter makes me feel like the teacher is annoyed with my son. And I know what that feels like, because when a teacher gets annoyed with a son, that student can do no right the rest of the year, because you have gotten on my last nerves. And so it was a red flag for me. So I said, what's the options? What can I do? You know, can I, at this point in the year, can I have him moved up? And so he led me through a couple of things. Every teacher is supposed to have a fluctuated schedule, but if not, you can go and find out what's specific to that school. And if push come to shove, have him test and let him move up. Maybe for the rest of the year, but he can take that test and then leave and go to the next class. That's stuff we need to know. You with me? But if I'm secretive and think I know everything, then come on, I can only be benefited based on my capacity. But God puts, this is good. This is good. This is good. Well, God puts people in your path to help you. Are you with me? But if you got such this private, this only me attitude, then the person that God put in your life to help you won't be able to help you. Touch your neighbor and tell them, open up. God got help for you. Got help for you. And so it all reminds me back to the question, because Jesus has to ask the question, because even though you say you want help, do you want to be made whole? I know you're around other sick people. I know you're here, but do you really want to be better? That's the question. I know you're coming to church every Sunday. I know you come to church Wednesday night, but are you really trying to be better? Don't fool me. It's no point in trying to fool us. There's no point. If you get it over, if we think you're the holiest of holy, what does it matter? We can't see into heaven. We can't see into hell. We can't do anything for you. So fooling us and convincing us, what's the point? What's the point? You're wasting your time. You're absolutely wasting your time. And honestly, what you'll find out, if you would admit to how bad of a sinner you was, the person next to you will probably respect your deliverance better. But you trying to cover up the fact that God had to save you from something, and they know too much about your past. But if God saved you from something, tell somebody, tell them, God saved me from something. Do you want to be made whole? And Jesus looks at this man. Watch this. Read the next verse, because this is where it messes up. I got to show you the connection, and we'll be done. The impotent man what? Uh-huh. I have no man when the water is troubled to what? Uh-huh. What? Keep going. Watch this. Whenever you get to the point where Jesus asks you if you want to be made whole, the first thing you'll do if you're not in the right spirit is you start offering excuses. And I need to be more specific, because you know what excuses are? Excuses always turn out to be some
one else. Started back with Adam. I'm in the shape I am because of somebody else. Adam, why are you hiding? Because of Eve. Adam, did you eat of the apple? But Eve gave it to me. Matter of fact, if you want to blame somebody, read the text. If you want to blame somebody, God, I mean, I ain't naming no names or nothing, but I ain't give Eve to myself. And that's what he said, right? Then he say, the woman thou gave me. Tell me that's not shade. He throwing shade. Look, if you I don't know, but you picked the wrong one, and this deceitful Jezebel that you gave me. Right? It's always what? Somebody else. It's always somebody else. Why aren't you better? Somebody else. Why aren't you healthier? Somebody else. Why aren't you better off financially? Somebody else. Why isn't there somebody else? It's always. Why you mean? Somebody else. Why you impatient with everybody? Somebody else. Why you saving still cussing? Somebody else. Y'all like the way I threw that in, right? Sinners can't get to the bar because holding up all the people at the gas station because you playing the lotto too. Yeah, man. Somebody else. It's always somebody else. And he says, do you want to be made whole? Yes. And he says, every time I get ready to get in the water, somebody else. Because the problem is, up until this point, all his faith, all his confidence, and all his hope was in superstition. It was all in this idea that if I only can do this, then I have this. And it was a superstition. Let's be real about this superstition because it's been painted and candy coated way too long. Can you imagine the implication? Watch this. Imagine the implication. There are paralyzed people trying to get into the water, being pushed in water. If you were half a second late, what happens to the paralyzed man who's pushed into water? Have y'all considered this stuff? Sometimes the power of Texas, you got to consider what's going on. There was a crowd of people trying to get into water. The Bible names them lame. If you push a lame man into water, is he going to swim out? So either somebody got to rescue him or he going to die. Oh, God help me. You can mess around chasing a superstition and die trying to be healed. When all you had to do was Jesus walks up to a man and says, wilt thou be made whole? And he says what? I have no man to put, but while I'm coming, another step down before me. And verse 8 says what? That word rise is so powerful if you look it up. The word rise is translated 15 different ways depending on the translation. One of them says get up. One of them says wake up. One of them says jump. It talks about leaping back to his feet. It says get up. But whatever it is, it's saying you need to move from where you are. You got to get up out of that junk. You've got to be different. You've got to have more. You need to wake up. And he says to this man, wake up, rise. But here's the thing. The first one has to be unique. Rise. But now catch this. He says, do what? Now this is where the point of this whole miracle comes into play. This is where the point of this whole miracle comes into play, and we'll show it. Because by him telling this man to take up his bed and walk, he has now instructed him to do something that he knows is going to get him in trouble. I love it. When you study this stuff, it's good. He knows taking up his bed and walk is going to get him in trouble. Look at the next verse. What happens? Remember, I told you, always pay attention to the part of the verse that seems like it's just out of place. God does not just say something just to say it. All right? So it seems like the date it is out of place because we're talking about what he did. He took up his bed, he walked. But he says on the same day is the what? Sabbath. The Sabbath. This is important because watch what happens next. Catch the wording. The Jews said to the man that was healed, what? It is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. Y'all, I know you've been sick. I done seen you laying on this pool. Come on. You mean to tell me in 38 years they don't recognize this man? He's been here for 38 long. Yeah, I left it. My bad. 38 long years. And in 38 long years, I'm sure they had to at least glance at him. And now the man that was laying by the pool is walking. And the first thing you say to him is, hey, can't carry that mat. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how people will overlook the miracle to talk about the mess? Ooh. God, this is right around the point of the sermon that I want to get real churchy. I'm trying to maintain. But it's so funny how people will overlook the miracle to talk about the mess. You got people who have mastered the art of finding the mess, and they will overlook the miracle all day long. You ain't noticed I ain't missed a Sunday all year. But you notice my lipstick is the wrong color. You ain't paid no attention to the fact that I ain't had to come to the altar in 7 Sundays. But you paid attention to the fact that my shirt ain't the same color as the rest of the choir members. Oh, come on, I'm not even paying. You ain't paying attention to the fact that I'm volunteering my time and working at the church. But you do notice that I ain't put the paper towel in the right place. And y'all laughing, but I'm using real examples. You ain't paying attention to the fact that I'm up here on a Saturday. But you do notice the fact that you're not sure if Pastor would want it that way. Did you ask permission to pull them weeds? Another real one. Another real one. Another real one. Watch this. Who knows you up here, sis? I'm not in the church. I'm outside. I'm just picking up some stuff around there. Who knows you up here? Now, if you're up here on the church grounds, you probably need to let somebody know you up on the, but I didn't want to do anything. I know I can't get inside. I don't have a key, but I was just going to walk around and pick up some of the trash, but you still should let somebody know. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gone. Elder Gary, I don't want anything said bad. I didn't know that I was supposed to call somebody, but I just wanted to walk around the church grounds and pick up, and I was told by such and such that I should have called and let somebody know. Sis, anytime you want to come up there and do whatever you want to, please. Matter of fact, if you need to get on the inside, just call one of us. We'll let you. And thank you so much for taking the time to be willing to walk around the grounds and pick up the trash. You will overlook. This is not a coincidence that he's doing this. He's using on purpose. Look at this. Catch this. Watch this. Here's what happens. He also now, he tells them to take up his bed and walk. The Jews say you can't do it. It's what? It's a Sabbath. What's he say about it though? He said what? It's not lawful. Everybody say that's not true. That's not true. Ooh, this is some good studying. You want to know? Here's what it is. It's something, and y'all can study this. I'm giving y'all extra study stuff. All right. There was 2 types of laws. One that the Jews follow was the written law. All right. And these are the commandments that we all know about, right? This is the written law. This is the tablets Moses gave, right? But the Jews also have something called the tradition of the elders, or it's called the oral law. And what this says, this is good Bible study. I'm just a Bible study. Because what this says is they believe that what God gave Moses with the 10 Commandments was the major, like the overline outline. But he also told him some things that he did not write down that were specifics. So when it says to keep the Sabbath, keep the Sabbath, then that wasn't all he said. He also told him specifics about how to keep the Sabbath, but Moses didn't write it down. And they've been passing down the oral law. It's called the Tanakh. All right, passing down the oral law from generation to generation to generation. It's called the rules of the Shabbat. You got to look it up. The rules of the Shabbat. And if you look up the rules of Shabbat, there are 39 rules. The Shabbat means Sabbath in Hebrew. All right? Shabbat means Sabbath in Hebrew. There are 39 rules that they have to follow in order to keep the Shabbat. If you are what they call a Shabbat Shemor. If you're a Shabbat Shemor, that means an adherer or an observer of the Sabbath. Are y'all with me? Tell somebody, say, teach, Gary. I just spoke Hebrew to y'all. Y'all act like y'all ain't impressed. It's impressive. All right. All right. Shabbat means Sabbath. All right. And so what happens is you have to observe little things. When I tell you it's detailed, it's detailed. Go up, you can look it up. Shabbat is S-H-A-B-A-T-T. Did I say that right? I may have spelled that wrong too. I'm getting ready to ask Siri right in front of y'all. Y'all play with me. It's 2 B's. You found it? Spell it for me. 1 T, 2 B's. I did it wrong. Yeah. There you go. All right, so Shabbat. If you look it up, the rules of the Shabbat, there are 39 of them. And it's very specific to the point like this. Like, you cannot turn on or off anything with electricity. So if the lights were off and it gets dark, it's just off till Monday, till Sunday, all right? Because if you are an observer of the Sabbath, you cannot turn anything. Now, they'll tell you it's just about preparation. So what they do is on Saturday night or on the 6th day, they turn the light on that's going to need to stay on. They also have found a way around it because now they're using timers. You can use timers. But little things like with your refrigerator, you can use the refrigerator because you don't turn the refrigerator off. It's always on. But you have to unscrew the light bulb in the refrigerator because the light bulb cannot keep going on and off. This is legitimate. This is today. This is today. This is what happens right now. It happens. These are beliefs that they have right now. 39 rules to keep the Shabbat. One of them is, and the one that he broke, is that you cannot carry anything from one place to another, in public or in private. That's the first one he said. There you go. You cannot carry anything from one place to another. So when they see him carrying, but remember, watch this. Who told him to take up his bed? Does Jesus know these rules? Yes. Can y'all catch it? See, this is why studying is really good. Jesus wasn't telling him something and all of a sudden he got caught saying, "Oh, I didn't know." Jesus told him to take up his mat and walk, knowing that these people were going to call him out on it. Look at what happens next. What happens after that? He answered them what? The person that healed me told me to do this, and I value the person that cared enough to heal me than I care about your rules. All while you were following those rules, I was sick. All you was following those rules, you walked past me for 38 years. This man heals me, and if he says, take up my bed and walk, if it breaks every last one of your rules, I'm taking up my bed and I'm willing to walk. See, when God does something for you, I got to calm down. When God does something for you, you better learn how to obey God even when it contradicts somebody else's rule. I don't care that they think you shouldn't be out there telling your testimony. You trying to do too much too fast. God saved me from something. I want everybody to know I don't need a title. I don't need a collar. I don't need a pulpit. But I'll stand in the middle of my job and tell everybody that God still saves. And if you got a problem with me telling my testimony, take it up with the one that healed me. Tell somebody, don't let nobody keep you from telling your testimony. He said, break the rule. Because here's what he ushered in. God chose to tell them, here's the problem, here's the point. Here's the point. The point was these religious people had allowed the rule to be more important than the person. Keeping the Sabbath, and I'm just about done here. Keeping the Sabbath was about the person. It was about telling you, don't spend every day working. I want you to take a break and appreciate the life that God has given you. It was supposed to keep you from labor, but it was never intended to keep you from love. Jesus shows this man love, and they concerned about the law. And here's what Jesus is ushering in now with this miracle. He's ushering in, I am going to be people-oriented and not religiously conscious. So if I have to pull, you would pull a mule out the ditch, but I just healed somebody. We have to make sure. Here's the sad truth, and I am done. The sad truth is with this. If you are putting a rule, an idea, or something above a person, you're out of order and you're anti the heart of God. I've said it before. I got raised eyebrows then, but I'll say it again here. There is not anything, everybody say anything. There is not anything in this sanctuary that's more valuable than anyone in this sanctuary. If you would go through great lengths to protect the pews, to protect the remembrance of me table, to protect the pulpit, to protect the furniture, then you should be going through more lengths to protect your sister, to cover your brother. If you care enough to drive by the church and make sure that the building is secured, you should care enough to pick up the phone and find out if your sister is all right. If you care enough to check on the length of the skirts or the right color of it, then you should care enough to find out whether or not that person has money to buy something new, or whether or not they have somebody who's calling them. Don't dare, God help me. If you have not established a relationship, you don't have any right to talk about the rules. Here's the template. I love him because he first loved me. And here's the sad thing about it. It's not talking about just church people. But you have to give an account to God. You have to give an account to God for the people in which don't come to the church anymore because they met a mean person in the pew. Some of us tonight, I'm serious, some of us tonight, I believe with all of my heart that God is ushering us into higher heights, deeper depths, that God is here to restore us. This is the year of restoration. God meant what he said. But some of us have to be honest enough to ask God to forgive us for the people who we damaged. God, forgive me for the gossip I spoke of last year. I didn't realize the damage it did. The rumor I created. The rumor I spread. God, forgive me for the sister I laughed at. I know it was innocent, but forgive me. Because you don't know. Because see, you don't know if you've never been, hear my heart. If you've never been someone who had to swallow your words and act like everything was okay,
whenever you are hurt on the inside, then you don't understand the damage you've done. But everybody's smiling and ain't happy. Some people have learned how to keep their mouth closed. Some people have learned how to smile and say, yes, ma'am. Smile and say, yes, sir. Smile and be respectful. Turn around, walk out, and cry in their cars. Cry in their house because they're heartbroken that they don't believe that you would be that harsh to them. You don't know what it took for them to get here. This man is sick 38 years. God heals him, and he doesn't even get the right to enjoy his healing. Catch this. He didn't even get the opportunity to enjoy the miracle before someone brings a mess. Look at what you didn't do right. Tonight, the point of this miracle is for God to send through his son, Jesus Christ, and show us that more important than the rule, he created the rule. He created the rule to protect the man so that he could have a relationship with God. Remember, John was so encouraged by this that when he's telling the story of Nicodemus, he stops in the middle of the story and he gives us the most quoted verse of all time. John 3:16. He says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And I'm telling you, God can change some things. In this church, hallelujah, I'm not hooping, but I feel his presence. Hallelujah. In this church, you will be shocked at what God has done that you have no clue about. God can change somebody's life who was in messed up situations, down and out, getting ready to be completely ruined, and turn their life around. Completely. Everybody say completely. And I will take this time. I hope he's not embarrassed. He posted it, so I feel like I should be able to say it. Brother Hickman, would you stand? Brother Hickman, not too long ago, went through a situation, and you posted, how long now? 4 months, completely clean. The devil tried to destroy him. It wasn't just a situation. The devil tried to destroy him. Tried to lock him up. Tried to mess up. The addiction had him so entangled that he was doing things against his character to provide for his fix. But God, but God. Come here, Brother Hickman. Come here. But God. But God. Watch this. And so the same way we get excited about somebody who's going to law school, somebody who's becoming a doctor, we celebrate the fact that my brother has been clean and saved 4 months. Because it's nobody but God. And the funny thing is that some people, if they just saw him today, would never believe what he's been through. And I can't wait till he gives his testimony and everybody in the audience said, nah, he ain't telling the truth. Touch somebody and tell them, I don't look like what I've been through. But God has brought me from something.
God has took me out of something. And if you think I look good right now, wait till he gets through with me. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. Bless you, man. So love you, man. Absolutely. Come on and give God praise. The same God that healed him, same God that blessed him, can save your child, can heal your body, can bring you out. I dare you to give him a nobody but God praise.
My mind.
Amen. Come on now, let's praise him.
I want to bless you
Hallelujah.
because God, you brought me, you kept me, you made ways and opened doors. And I know, God, it was nobody but you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't anything that happened by chance. But it was your divine will. The most precious thing that I have is my relationship with God.